Hello guys, good evening and welcome to what is my first community event of the F1 2020 game cycle. We got some top quality drivers here from multiple leagues, from Fair League Racing, Intelligence Racing, League of Europe. We got some from Friday Night Racing, ISRL and UDL, so we got a good mix of guys here. We are waiting on two drivers, so I mean they're gonna be a little bit late to the party, so we'll send a quick invite to the reserves so we get the reserve drivers in for this race, and just before everyone readies up. So as I said, we got some great drivers here and I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do in some 5-lappers around these 10 circuits, and I'll just take you through the 10 circuits in question. So first up we have the BAHRAIN International Circuit, a very tricky track, with turn 10 being notorious for those without ABS, and of course the curb at turn 12 being a very dangerous curb indeed. And then second up we have Azerbaijan, followed by Monza, then we have Austria, China, one of the new tracks to the F1 2020 calendar at Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and of course then we got Canada. After that, Belgium, Silverstone, and to wrap things up we have Brazil. So we have all drivers in now, so there's nothing left to do but ready up. So I'm going to click on spectator, and here we go guys, we're going to jump into the very first race. However, I will say that the two drivers who are missing, they did say that they'll be running a bit late, so the reserve drivers may have to make way for them at some point, but hopefully they can get some good racing in when they can. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Random grids, so no one-shot quali, setups are allowed, all assists allowed, and of course some good racing ahead. So let's go ahead and jump into the Bahrain Grand Prix for the first round of this community event 5-lapper championship, hosted by myself, Shwmae Mike. So just waiting on everyone to ready up. I'm hoping that we can keep it clean. A lot of these drivers have not raced with each other before, all varying in pace as well, so it will make things interesting for those faster drivers trying to make their way through the field. And hopefully we can get through turn 1 safely, soundly, and all sorted. So 20 seconds until the session starts. Let me know in the stream right now, who are you pulling for? Who are you in favor of winning this little community championship? Who's your money on, guys? Get in the chat below. As Jar has actually left the session, so hopefully he can get back in, but the 5 red lights, we will go. We have Rick Dolden on pole. Alongside him is Extrema, the former AOR Assist League champion. As we have United Bosnia going down the order. Is everyone keeping it clean in turn 1? There's a little bit of contact there, but relatively clean, as we got Kylat going over the grass there at turn 2. but it looks to be pretty clean so far. Jordan JT trying to battle there with Danny Boy, as we got Connor and Nova Wes trading positions. Rek and Danny Boy side by side. Absolutely great stuff to start things off. And now Danny Boy defending, a little bit of contact from behind there from Crazy Welsh, as we got a Ferrari around it. This Parker has spun it and he is around. Hopefully there was no contact there. We just saw it out the back, and Jordan is dropping positions as well. He's gone wide at turn 10, so he has gone off. And Jar, who appears to be back in his car now, going around the outside, as we got Bro on pole getting past Crazy Welsh there, as Storm Gaming and Jordan JT having a bit of a tussle there for 17th. Meanwhile, at the front, Rick has managed to pull a second gap on Extrema already. Slayer picks up the inaugural 2-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, as Bullet Boy, squeezing out there Danny Boy. That was relatively naughty, but Danny Boy now going to try and come back into turn 1. He's going to have a look around the outside. Is he going to be able to make it sick? Meanwhile, Connor again past Extrema up ahead. And Danny Boy unable to get it done, but Connor all the way up into second place right now, and he is hunting down that man in the Mercedes, and that is Rick. And we got to look around. It's a big snap of oversteer there for Nova West, and he is now under pressure from Rick, as Bullet Boy and Luke side by side, and contact made, and Luke is around. And Kyle's retired from the session. What's happening with Kyle, as Jordan is in the pits? We didn't have the track map up. That's a big mistake straight from the off. But let's look at the position changes, as Extrema picks up a 2-second time penalty. Is this all getting a bit chaotic now? Especially towards the back there, as we got QVR Sparhold battling with Storm. It's going to be free wide with Luke. Lads, take it easy, as it's very close racing between these guys. And I think that is Luke off at turn 11, which is not what you want. But fortunately, there are 10 races to make up these positions, and penalties could mean absolutely everything, as we got Nova West all over the back of Extrema for 3rd place, a final step on the podium. Connor setting the new fastest lap as he hunts down Rick Dolden into turn 1, but Rick having a little look on Nova West down the inside. He'll go, but he outbreaks himself in the switchback there from Nova West. Into turn 1, contact made, and it's there we go, Pro on pole now around the outside. A bit of contact there between Rek and Nova Wes, and Bro on pole gets himself up into 4th. A little bit of lag situation going on with Rek at the moment, as he lags ahead of these guys, and Connor actually making his way past Rick Dalton in the meantime. So now Connor up into 1st place, already pulled that 1-second gap to get out of DRS, as we have Damon now over the back of Nova West for 6th place. And I don't recall Damon being on the list, so he must have got an invite from someone, as Bjord has retired as well. So it's unfortunate to see, as Bullet Boy hangs it around the outside of Damon. But lovely little battle we got going on here, as Rek has left the session. So maybe his internet has gone, or maybe he wasn't happy with the situation that he found himself in. Meanwhile, Braun Paul, who should get past Rek relatively easy with him being an AI car. However, I did boost up the AI's difficulty. It is on 90, so it should be they should be able to get past the AI pretty quickly, but you never know. As Crazy Welsh and Sparholt side by side there in turn 1. Sparholt getting the job done, getting through and up into 12th. He'll go, as Jar trying to recover after his unfortunate lag out of the session. As Sparholt picks up a 2-second time penalty. So not good there, as we got a big old train for Nova West to try and defend from Bullet Boy. Damon not too far behind, and Then we have another little train from United Bosnia all the way down to Jar in 11th. And then we have Sparhold leading ahead of Crazy Welsh, but Nova Wes has just managed to get past the ghost car of Wreck. Yeah, he has. He's got past him. As we just got confirmation that one of our drivers that we had scheduled to make a committed appearance, he is unfortunately going to have to drop out, and that is Adri Lockdock, as Brought on Pole gets past Extrema. So with Adri dropping out, that does mean that one of the reserves, and the first reserve being up in line, is, I believe it was the man who is currently, who was the first reserve. He might not have been able to get in time, but oh, it's Danny Boy's off. Danny Boy, as we're going to go on board, and looks like he's lost it out of the exit at turn 4, and I think he's just retired out of frustration there, as Sparholt looking around the outside of Damon for 10th place. Sparholt all over the gearbox there of Damon, as Rex saying sorry for his internet. Rex, sometimes you can't help the internet connection. It is what it is. And Damon with front wing damage, so Luke is going to be able to sweep on by as well, as Sparhold up 10 places. But the big gainer here is Brought on Pole, who is up 11 places. Extrema down 2. So at the moment, Rick doing pretty well to keep up there with Connor, but Connor is going to take the first win, as Brought on Pole will complete the podium with Rick sitting there in second place. Bullet Boy jumps Extrema for 4th, and then we got Nova West in 6th. Wrecked AI finishes in 7th, so hopefully he can join back. And then we got United Bosnia in 8th, Jar in 9th, and Luke in 10th. Outside the top 10 we have Sparholt, Damon, Crazy Welsh, Slayer, TFR, Storm Gaming. Then we got Parker in 16th, and rounding out the finishers is going to be Jordan JT, as Danny Boy, Bjord and Kylot have unfortunately DNF'd you. So it is unfortunate to see a couple of DNFs early. Now before everyone readies up into the next race, I just want to make sure everyone can resume their spot, and if anyone is dropping out, get a reserve in to replace them. As we are awaiting the arrival of NSX Montana at some point soon. So Connor is our first race winner, but Brought Paul picks up the fastest lap. Only a tenth between them. They're actually half a tenth. That is incredibly close between Connor and Brought Paul. But there you go. That is the top 10 and the first race of 10 completed. So need to see what is going on, because some people did leave. Did they leave out of pure frustration, or did they just lag out? So just checking to see if anyone has turned around and said that they are not going to come back in, as one of our reserves said he can't make it. That is okay. That's no worries, mate. But before everyone readies up, just want to make sure that we do have everyone in here still. Yes, we do. So we still have everyone in here. No sign of Montana yet. So we'll see what happens as we go into race 2 at the Azerbaijan Street Circuit, and this is going to be, it's going to be a chaotic one, but hopefully after this things will start to settle down. As well, actually again we got Monza turn 1 up next, so another track for everyone to kind of to keep calm with. Wreck in the chat saying if he lags more he'll drop out. I mean, hopefully you don't have to drop out, mate, but obviously, like, you know, that's your call. If it's diminishing your ability to race with everyone, that is entirely your call. As we are gonna have a lovely little drink a sec, and just get ready for this race, because Azerbaijan, the castle section, can be incredibly tricky at the best of times, but in these cars now you can get a bit more understeer and that castle section becomes absolutely deadly. So we'll see who is going to survive the castle section, who is going to be able to make it through there unscathed, and who's going to come out on top here for the second race of the 5-lapper championship here at the Azerbaijan Street Circuit. So once again, Rick Dalton on the front row, but this time he's joined alongside Nova. Where's a Storm, gets a drive-through penalty for jump starting, and that is Bullet Boy dropping back as Jordan JT actually manages to get past Bjorn Ball as Connor up into 5th place. Gonna have a little look around the outside, 2x2 there in turn 2, and that is very bold to start off lap 1, as it is looking like a tasty old battle. There's a little bit of contact there, someone in the wall. I believe that was United Bosnia getting tangled up there with Danny Boy, who's all over the back of the Red Bull of Damon, and Uza has gone off. I just saw someone in the wall, and I believe that may have been, I think that was Crazy Welsh or United Bosnia, but back up towards the front, Jordan and Purewood, as I think, oh my god, he's in the wall. Oh, as Damon straight away smack bang into the castle section. Unbelievable, as Bjord has retired from the session. I did say that that castle section can become very deadly, as Crazy Welsh retires from the session as well. Also in the, looks like it's in the straight after the castle section, the little right hand, well, left hand kink, as Parker and Bro on pause. We're going to stay on board with this battle. In fact, we'll go on board with Bullet Boy, as Luke appears to be dropping positions left, right and centre. That is a subsumer effect, as Jar gets himself up into 6th place, as Braun Paul gonna look around the outside. Is Parker gonna send one of those notorious dive bombs that he was so famous for last season in LOE? And Bullet Boy gonna hang it around the outside at turn 1. Fantastic stuff there from the man in the Renault. And that is Damon tangled up with Sparholt there on the exit of turn 2. And right now, Rick is loving life, because he has been on the front row in both races and he's been able to stay out of trouble. Meanwhile, Nova West in the pit, and that is Storm Gaming all the way down in 17th place at the moment. two guys to have retired from this race so far. And we got a nice old train from P8 down to P12, so we'll go onto the back of it with Packer, who's going to send it down the inside of his IRO teammate as he makes a bit of contact and goes off into the wall as Rek actually gets through and up into 12th place for Rek. Braun Pull, does he have any wing damage? It looks like he may have just a little bit, and Packer managing to get through on Damon, and I believe they both have wing damage. Sparhawk picking up a 2-second time penalty as Damon just goes walloping into the wall, and this is the whole reason that I put reduced damage on, just so that there can't be no wall riding tactics. Oh my god, a little bit of contact there between Kyle and Damon. Oh Jesus, that is Kyle's retired. He has completely, to be honest, that you hate to see it. I think Damon was trying to come into the pits and Kyle was on that inside, closing in rapidly. But on board with Rek, who he has been lagging a bit, so he needs to be careful on how he makes these moves, because his lag could potentially take out any number of people. Extrema doing well up in 5th place as Jar all over the back of him in 6th. In fact, they're both all over the back of Danny Boy in 4th as Jar picks up a 2-second time penalty, and that is going to hinder him in this battle for 4th place. But Luke not too far behind, as well as Bullet Boy, and Bullet Boy is on an absolute charge. Is he going to be able to get through on the man in the Alpha Tauri? We're going to go back up towards this battle. Oh, actually we'll go up towards the front, because here comes Connor. Is he going to make it? 2 race wins out of 2. DRS wide open. He's going to move to the inside, but he should be clean past him before they even get to turn 1. And that he is, as Parker has retired, and I believe he's also left the session as well. So not what you want to see there, as we're gonna stay on board with Storm just to see where Parker did retire from. As he's in the wall, and that is an odd place to be in the wall, so I'm not sure if there was any contact with anyone or whether he's just dropped it on traction. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he can let us know what went on, as Extrema getting back past Jar there, as Damon has left the session as well, so doesn't look like it's going to be a good day for any of these guys. And there's some angry people, and I'm seeing a few Discord messages about everyone keeping it clean. And to be honest, I mean, you're all experienced league racers, and keeping it clean should be relatively simple for you all. But I mean, it's a 5-lapper. Sometimes things happen. There are different levels of experience between you guys, so, and also different pace between you as well. So understandable that there's going to be a bit of contact when you got some quicker drivers maybe braking a bit later than the slower drivers, carrying more speed in the corners because they're more confident. But and then of course you got the lag and desync issues as well, as Extrema all over the back of Jar and Danny Boy all over the back of Jordan JT. So this could be a very tasty little 4-way scrap for the final step on the podium. Bullet Boy looks like he's going to be in a battle very soon with Spa Hulk for P7, so we'll keep up to date with that one. as we are on the final lap here, and Extrema in a very good position right now. Well, I say that, he's just lost the back end and lost a few turns, but in this little train, he's going to have the best slipstream possible. You know, with that triple slipstream effect, but is it going to be enough to get him into third place? Danny and Jar side by side, just up ahead, with on board with Extrema. As we have like Sparhawk picks himself up a 2-second time penalty, which is not good for him. Jordan currently doing everything he can to keep that final spot on the podium. And now Jar all over the back of Danny Boy, and Danny Boy losing a bit of time. Oh, it's Jar with a big back end snap, and I don't think Extrema's going to be close enough to take advantage of this. So Connor will cross the line to pick up his second win in a row, but who's going to get third on track? It's going to be Jordan. Extrema does jump up into fifth as we got Sparholt getting past Bullet Boy for 7th place, and Bullet Boy jumping in back on penalties. And this race has been it's been what I expected from Baku. There's not enough room to go side by side with people, so obviously there's a few people who are not particularly happy. As Jar picks up the driver of the day. As there he is for the second race in a row. Connor on the top step. As I'm just going to have a little peek to see whatever anyone is saying. But yeah, there it is, Connor with first place and the fastest lap as well. So Connor really stamping his authority down as Rick in second. Jordan JT will be incredibly happy with that result in third. Danny Boy fourth, Extrema fifth, Jar in sixth, Bullet Boy in seventh, Sparholt in eighth, ninth is Luke, and then United Bosnia rounding out the top 10. And then outside the points, Slayer, Reckless, Braun Paul, Nova Wes and Storm Gaming. Our non-finishers were Parker, Damon, Kylet, Crazy Welsh and Bjord in last place. And just talking to one of the drivers a sec. So how many have we got left? So we have 18 drivers left. Of course we lost Parker and Damon, so no. Before, can everyone unready 2 seconds? Don't think there's enough people watching the stream to hear that, but We do have 2 spots available, so hoping I can get in 2 reserve drivers now. So if you're watching and you got yourself down as a reserve, make sure you jump on in, as we are getting set for what should be a very interesting race here at Monza. So let's go ahead and jump on into it and you'll see what's cracking. I'm just 2 seconds, guys. I'm just looking at who is the next reserve in line. As we go to those 5 red lights once again, lights are out and we are underway, and now Kyle and Sparholt are on the front row, and Rick also gets a very favourable starting position, but he needs to be careful going into turn 1. A Storm Gaming tries to break clean around the outside, but he's just going to lose countless positions by doing that, as Nova Wes dropping positions as well, getting caught out by the instance that was happening. Extrema and Luke side by side as Extrema cuts off in front of the AlphaTauri, and Crazy Welsh now having a bit of a peek around the outside, and he is going to go onto the curbing, which is going to slow him up, so he's going to be side by side with Luke. The Ferrari's ahead, also side by side, as once again Bjord Bull out of this race. So I'm not sure what's happened to Bjord, but Rick now under pressure from a very quick driver being brought on pole, and Connor not too far behind him, as you see brought on pole looking for any kind of gap that he can just get his way through, and Connor now over the back of that Renault, as he is going to have a little peek into Parabolica but thinks better of it, and that is going to allow Danny a chance to have a bit of a run on him, as Kylet up ahead now trying to pull away, but he does have Bullet Boy behind him, as brought on pole looks to the inside. There is a big old squeeze there from Rick, and that is going to allow Connor to get past brought on pole. So a big squeeze there from Rick Dalton, as Extrema picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, as Crazy Welsh dropping down the order, and I think he may have made contact with Nova Wes there. As Crazy Welsh has retired. It's not been a good showing so far from Crazy Welsh, being caught out in a fair few incidents, but it's a shame to see with the my fellow Welshman suffering. It is a shame to see, but now Connor is next up in line to try and get past Rick Dalton for 4th place. Slayer picks himself up a 2-second time penalty. Is Connor going to be able to get the move done? Sparhole going wide out of Parabolica though, and that has just allowed Dalton to get past him, as Connor's going to look around the outside of turn 1. Is he going to try and go around the outside of both of them? He is going to try, but Rick's line for the second part of that chicane much superior, and that is going to leave Connor vulnerable now to Sparholt, who has the slipstream of his teammate in the Mercedes car, but Connor does not allow it, and he is going to pinch ahead of the both of them in the second chicane. And now Sparholt settling down for 5th place, brought on pole not too far behind. Jar picks himself up a 2-second time penalty, as well as Sparholt. So Sparholt, I believe that is his second 2-second time penalty. back up towards the front. Bullet Boy closing in on Kylat. And is this going to be the move for the lead of this race? Connor not too far behind, and Connor's the man who is leading the championship. So here we go, the Renault tucked up underneath, DRS wide open, and Connor setting a new fastest lap of the race, so that racing point is flying. But Bullet Boy up into the race lead as Rick picks up a 2-second time penalty, and now Bro and Paul all over the back of Sparholt's going to look around the outside. He's going to be able to make it stick. A little bit of contact there between the two of them, and Bro and Paul down the inside into the second chicane, but picks up a 2-second time penalty in the process, so he's not going to be happy with that, as we got Extrema trying to chase down for that final point playing position of Jar. As we got Jordan just ahead of United Bosnia. Storm Gaming trying his best to get into the fight as well. Nova Res in the pits, and I believe he may retire in the pits because he is going to be pretty much a lap down at this point. As now we have Connor all over the back of Kyla, and there's Nova Res retiring from the session as they start the final lap of the race. Bullet Boy setting the new fastest lap as Connor gets past Kyla, but did he do it under yellow flags? I'm not sure. Kyla gonna try and really force Connor off track there and into a 2-second time penalty as well, which is not good. Oh, who was that? Was that Rick? That's Rick in the wall. Rick absolutely into the wall, and I think he may retire because he does have heavy wing damage now. But unbelievable there, as Rick and Braun Paul having a bit of a battle, but impossible to know what is going to happen as Danny trying to look around the outside for Ascari. Now this is going to be a brave move from the Haas driver, and he's gonna done it. Fantastic stuff there from Danny Boy, as Kylat as he's DNF. So Kylat has just gone ahead and he's just given up on the exit of Ascari there, so I'm not sure. As Braun Paul going very wide on the exit of Parabolica. He's lost a spot to Sparholt and to Danny Boy, but the man on the top step is going to be Bullet Boy. Connor in second, and Wreck gets third place ahead of Luke in fourth, Jar in fifth, Danny Boy sixth, Sparholt in seventh. Ooh, kind of need to catch my breath a little bit. Right, so to everyone who is in the lobby who may be watching the stream also, can you guys give me a few seconds so I can get a few reserves in? Alright, so we got some of the no assist lights lads saying drop the assists. No, we can't do that, everyone. Right, before everyone readies up, just want to get a invite out as they both expressed interest in being a reserve, so we're gonna bring them in. As we got Slayer, who's just hit me up in the DMs asking he knows someone who is interested in racing. We got Rec in the chat. Connor, if you're watching, mate, you're on 69 points, but I'm just saying, nice. As we get ready to go into round number 4 for Austria, and this should be a lot better. So, you know, turn 1, hopefully everyone can make it through clean. Oh, the dynamic weather has come into effect. It is raining, and now we get to see who has actually done any racing in the wet so far. This, guys, is going to be a bit spicy. We have a new subscriber to the channel, Slightly Mad Gaming. Much appreciated, mate. You're a legend. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. We are one closer to 1,000 subscribers, guys. We're one closer. Oh my god, you're starting on softs. Oh no. It's wet, but it's not wet enough apparently, as everyone is starting on the soft compound tyre. This is going to be absolute slip and slide all the way through, and turn 1, oh, as we got the Haas of Danny Boy around it, and he's to the back as we got the McLaren of United Bosnia. They lose it under traction. The conditions are saying that it is dry enough for the dry tyres as United Bosnia bumps into the back of Rick Dalton. And oh, there's a bit of contact there between the Renault of... I believe that was the Renault of... who was that? Was that Bro and Paul? Renault. Hang on, we need to have a little look at this for wing damage. So United Bosnia does have wing damage. What about anyone else? Does anyone else have front wing damage? Doesn't appear so, apart from maybe Danny Boy, who is all the way towards the back. As we got Connor trying to look on the back of Crazy Welsh. And here we go, slipstream wide open, he is engaged the overtake button. And down the inside he'll go to get through. Up into 8th place, and I do believe I saw someone go off into the wall, and that may be Slayer. It's Jordan JT trying to battle with Connor, tries to hang it around the outside, but unable to do so. Now Crazy Welsh alongside Jordan JT, the Scotsman versus the Welshman, as they go down into turn 4, and it is the Welshman, Crazy Welsh, coming out on top. There's a bit of contact between Luke and Jordan, and this caused absolute carnage. I think Luke was looking to follow Crazy Welsh through on Jordan JT and contact. I don't think Jordan may have saw what went on as Jar retires and leaves the session. Oh, not good there for Jar. I think he did get caught up in the incident, I believe, with Luke, who tried a very ambitious way to kind of follow through on Crazy Welsh. I would say Luke is the faster driver though, and unfortunately, I don't think Jordan may have anticipated a dive there from Luke, and conditions not being ideal. But that spun Luke out and caused a lot of damage there to Jar, who is now out of the session, as we got Slayer, who has retired from the session, as the head, the Welshman and the Scotsman doing battle once again, and they got Bjord just ahead of them, who has now split them, as Luke trying it down the inside of Storm Gaming and gets the move done. So Luke now up into the top 10, just behind United Bosnia, who picks up another 2-second time penalty. Meanwhile, towards the front, we have a nice battle going on for the final step of the podium, and for second place for that matter, between Connor, Rek, Kylat and Extrema. Crazy Welsh picks up another 2-second time penalty. That's not going to help his causes to try and climb the order, but United Bosnia, one of the few guys that I know who is racing without the racing line. Another man being the man who has retired, and that is Slayer, as well as the man currently in 6th place, a side by side Broughton Pull and Storm Gaming, and Broughton Pull gets the move done. Connor though, oh, I think he may have spun. I think he may have bounced off the side of Extrema and spun, or he may have tried it on Wreck and spun off the lag, I'm not sure. But Connor all the way down in 8th place now. So that has just turned our 4-horse race to a 3-horse race. Meanwhile, Bullet Boy in a world of his own, ahead of the pack, 5.4 seconds clear he is, and it is still raining slightly, but it is nowhere near wet enough for the intermediate tyres, as Rek trying to get into second place. Can he get the move done on Kylat for second place, or will he have to stick behind? Time will tell, but he needs to be careful. He does have that bit of lag situation. And well, Jordan, Crazy Welsh and Connor and Bjord, this is going to be interesting on penalties to see who stays where, as Bjord picks up a 2-second time penalty. Now that that will drop him a position, I believe, as Connor gets past Crazy Welsh, because Crazy Welsh is off into the wall. Unbelievable. And Bullet Boy is going to pick up the win, and Kylat in second, Wreck in third, Extrema fourth. And what's going to happen here? So Connor gets 5th, Jordan 6th, Luke in 7th, Bjord in 8th, Broughton Pole 9th, and United Bosnia will get 10th, as Nova Wes, Rick Dalton, Danny Boy, Sparhold, Storm Gaming and Crazy, I believe Crazy Welsh was the last one to cross the line. No, it was Jar who has left the session. Right, so that is race number 4 down, and we have we've had some incidents that have gone on, and there are some people who have dropped out prematurely, but Bullet Boy is the man on the top step of the podium. Kylet in second, Wreck in third, Extrema fourth, Connor in fifth, Jordan in sixth. And let's actually have a look at the standing. So 9 points separate the top two, as we have a tasty battle going on for third between Rick, Wreck and Extrema. Extrema being very consistent right now, as we have a very tasty battle going on by here for sixth. Jordan, Brohan, Paul, Luke, Danny Boy, Jar, who has, I believe he has stepped out, no longer racing, as we also have Kylet in that battle for sixth in the championship. And you know, just going down, there is the top 18. So moving on to round number 5 at China. Connor is the man who is leading the championship. So unfortunately, we're waiting for Bro on Paul to load into the session. Go ahead and jump in to the next round here for China. As we wait to see who is going to be on pole position this time, as we have Zach join the lobby. Now he is a guy that we've brought in as a reserve, so we'll see how he does. He's also a driver who runs without assists in the league known as UDL, so we'll see how he compares to the drivers around him. But yeah, we've had a fair few incidents so far. Unfortunately, the only way we can put it down to is the difference in pace between some drivers and difference in experience. Some of the faster drivers will feel that the slower guys should jump out of their way. Slower guys are like, nah, we're not having any of it. And you know, sometimes moves are a bit silly, but Rick Dalton once again on the front row with Wreck alongside Storm and Slayer. So we're going to go on board with Slayer, who is going to have the inside, and a very good start there as he draws alongside Storm Gaming into turn 1. As Rick lagging around us. Storm actually dropping a few positions as he goes too wide, and that is the understeer of this track, and that is a very naughty dive there from Storm to try on Connor as he's getting all out of shape there. As we have a bit of contact there between Jordan and Danny, and Jordan's going to get a massive penalty there, and Connor's around. What has gone on there, lads? It's China. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was Monaco and out of all this contact, but this is China, lads. I don't know what's going on, but Jordan clearly not happy as all. Storm Gaming, that is not a good move, mate. I just caught that on stream. You can't really dive it there, mate. As Kylat gets past United Bosnia, brought on Paul, gonna go through. He's gonna make the double overtake work. We're gonna go on board with Bosnia for this, as he is gonna try around the outside of Kylat. And whose front wing's just gone there? I just saw front wing flying, and it's Connor's. Connor's front wing absolutely being sent off into Narnia. I'm not sure what has happened there with Connor. Sparholt has left the session, so I think he's probably had enough as well. And so has Kylat as well. They've both left the session, so they've had enough. And this is the one. Oh, as we got Extremer and Bullet Boy. That is a little bit naughty contact there from Extremer on Bullet Boy. Unfortunately though, this is... Yeah, I saw it, Jordan. I saw it. The 10-second time penalty was... It was not deserved, but we did catch it on stream. It wasn't deserved, but unfortunately... I mean, I understand why you left, and... Storm... He went incredibly wide at turn 1, which meant that he done a stupid move into turn 2, as we got Nova Wes and Danny Boy side by side. Oh, contact! Lads! You're all experienced league racers. You should be able to go through a 5-lapper without making contact. As contact once again, and Danny Boy with a beautiful little rally drift there. He's been playing Dirt 2.0. I can guarantee you that, as towards the front, Wreck just ahead of Rick. Luke is up in the third. Crazy Welsh in 4th place, but he does have a very quick Bullet Boy right behind him, as we got this battle for... Well, it was a battle for 8th, and I think more contact made. Nova Wes going slow and brought on Paul, going to try around the outside, but unable to get the move done on Danny Boy. But he's going to try again around the outside. Oh, not here. He's absolutely gone and done it around the outside for brought on Paul, but a bit of contact made. And I think after this race, everyone needs to, you know, have 5 minutes, have a breather, and, you know, just kind of recompose themselves. Because I would be lying if I said that this wasn't scrappy. I get it's only a 5-lapper, but we're all very experienced league racers, and we should all be able to make it through 5 laps without this much contact. As Bullet Boy getting past Crazy Welsh there on the run into turn 1. What about Bro and Paul on Slayer? Bro and Paul down the inside, and that is job done there. As I've said, different levels of experience for these drivers, as well as different pace levels, as well as, I believe, oh my god, Danny, Nova Wes, I believe, yeah, Danny's left. Danny's had enough. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. Bjord has also left as well. Sparholder's left. We are losing drivers very quickly, but hopefully this means that contact will be a lot less, and we can actually get some good racing again. The gaps are a bit spaced out now, so question is Connor going to be able to catch up? I believe he should be able to catch up and perhaps be able to sneak 11th place and maybe getting a penalty of someone ahead, but actually never again. Never mind, he's 17 seconds behind. He's got no chance. Oh, this is... This has been a bit of a naughty one, as we got Jack in the chat saying that he's just missed out on China. Yeah, unfortunately you have, mate. Just about missed out on China. Unfortunately we're starting to lose guys left, right and centre in this 5-lapper championship, and it's all due to silly incidents between people. Very silly incidents. It's definitely a bit of inexperience between the different levels of these drivers, as well as not knowing each other's racecraft and everything, so that they're not used to racing alongside. I mean, we've got brought on pole down the inside of Extrema there, and gets that move done as Wreck will take the win. Luke will cross in third, Rick in second, Bullet Boy fourth, Braun Pole in fifth, Crazy Welsh in sixth, Extrema seventh, Slayer will get eighth, Northwest in ninth, 10th will be United Bosnia, Sparholt, who isn't here, Bjord, who isn't here, Connor will cross in 13th with a big old corner cut, and that is fantastic there. What an absolute drift. If he was able to hold that, would have been beautiful. But yeah, unfortunately the issue with this is the difference in not only driver pace but driver confidence, driver experience, defensively, offensively. Some people using like certain assists, some not using assists, and obviously like when you're league racing it does take a while to get used to the way people drive, and unfortunately these guys have not had that experience to get used to that. But there we go, Wreck with the win ahead of Rick and Luke. Bullet Boy fourth, Braun Paul in fifth, and I believe that means Bullet Boy takes the lead in this 5-lapper championship. And I mean, I'm hoping now that we can get less incidents, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. We've lost a few drivers. Some have rage quit and some have just weren't happy at all. Let's go to the standings and let's have a look. So yeah, Bullet Boy ahead of Connor by 3 points, and it's getting pretty close at the top. Okay, so the next race is going to be at the Netherlands, and as you can see, we are down to 15 drivers, as we now have 16 as Bjorwood has joined the ranks. So we're back up to 16 once again on race 6 of 10, and we need to hope for some cleaner races now. But here we go for Zandvoort. This should be interesting because this is a brand new circuit, so let's see what the racing is actually going to be like around this track. So here we go. This is the Ferrari front row. Shwmae the man on pole, but Storm is going to get that inside into turn 1. As Crazy Welsh with a big old bog down at turn 1 as Bosnia and Nolan making contact there. I don't think Bosnia will be too happy with that as Wreck and Crazy Welsh at the bank corner. And not looking good for Crazy Welsh because he has dropped a few positions off the start. Bullet Boy making his way into the top 10. Zach, I don't think, knows this track particularly well as Rick tries around the outside there. So as Crazy Welsh is in the wall, and Crazy Welsh has retired from the session. And I kind of want to see what's going to happen now because it's clear that Rick may know this track a bit better than Jack does, as Nova West has left the session. He's had enough. Well, Slayer trying to make his way through as well, but unable to do so. Down the inside goes Rick. Is Slayer going to try and follow him through? I think he might try and follow him through. So he tries to look for the better exit of turn 1. Unable to do so, but the Haas goes very wide on the corner exit there and around the outside at the bank corner for Slayer, and he is up into 11th place. Meanwhile, back up towards the front, Extrema has he's been passed and he was ghosting. I thought he may have left the session, but oh my god, Storm with a very very terrible dive there, and I think I may have to send him a bit of a message. It's not the first naughty dive that he has done so far, but his wheel has come off. So I'm gonna have a quick word with Storm Gaming because that was a bit I'm gonna have a quick word as Zach trying to look around the outside. In fact, that is just the AI car of Kylat now still going. Let's go on board with this battle for first place between Luke and Bro and Paul as I'm go to message one of the drivers, just ask him to take it easy on the dives. Right. Let's go back on board with gonna go on board with this big old scrap for pretty much 6th place, because Nolan isn't very far ahead of Wreck, so Wreck getting a little bit out of shape there, and that's going to put him under pressure of Slayer, but Slayer goes very deep and is also under pressure now from Rick Dalton, as Nolan appears to be getting away slightly. As we have another comment in the chat, so I'm just going to quickly have a look, as Nolan picks up himself up a 2-second time penalty, and now Nolan under some serious pressure to keep a hold of 6th place. Well, back up towards the front, Bro on pole and Luke very close to each other on track. As we got Jack saying that he doesn't really know this track very well. I don't think many people do, to be honest. I don't know where everyone's racing experience is around this track, but I know it can't be as experienced as it is at other circuits. But now this, oh my god, this Connor gets an absolute whopper on right there on traction, and that's going to drop him out of DRS range. And now Braun Paul is going to cross the line to take the win. Luke in 2nd, Connor in 3rd, followed by 4th, Bjorwood in 5th. Wreck will come across the line in 6th place, ahead of Slayer, who drops down to 8th because Rick has jumped him. In fact, Nolan has also jumped him. Oh, look at that gap. Half a 10th in it between Slayer and Nolan, as Jordan picks up that final point paying position. And outside the points then we have the AI car of Kylat, who is no longer here. Jack in 12th, Bosnia in the 13th, and Novorez, who has also left the session. So we're seeing a few guys dropping positions now in the championship, because a few guys raging out of the lobby. As Justin is in the chat. How are you doing, Justin? Welcome to the stream. And the Gaming Rick. Hello, is there a way I can join? There is a way that you can join. If you add either Bryn Mike, then you can join. Let's have a look at the stand-in. So tied on points now, Connor and Bullet Boy tied on 94 points apiece, as we got Rick in 3rd, just ahead of Rick, and brought on Paul. Luke there, as we got Extrema in 7th, Jordan now in 8th place, and we'll see how many of these guys can start climbing their way up the order. Not just that, we got some new guys to the lobby, and we shall see what is going on. As we are now getting ready for race number 7. Wreck on 69 points. Nice. Nice. So Canada is the next track, and we're down to 14 drivers. We have lost a fair few names, and unfortunately that does mean that because we have lost those names, as I'm going to quickly accept this friend request. we have lost those names. The championship is looking, well, it's still looking a bit tasty actually. You know, tied on points, first and second as we go into the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve with the infamous Wall of Champions and the notorious, and I mean notorious birds that will fly on the track. We've seen them in real life. Seagulls, absolutely disgraceful. As it is looking very overcast here, and we don't know if we're going to see any rain, but never say never, it could happen. But it is looking very dry right now. Yeah, Rick, it's on invite only at the moment. I'll have to invite you after the session. I didn't have time to do both before this race. But yeah, it's on invite only, so you can have an invite after the session. Well, after this particular race. And I'll get you in for the final races. But Connor and Bullet Boy, the two championship protagonists here in the first community event 5-lapper championship. And Joe, guys, why don't you leave your suggestions in for future events, future 5-lapper events that I could potentially host, as Nolan and Slayer, the front row lockout for this race, as we're going to have a fair few drivers from the back trying to make their way up the order. 3 wide between the Alfa Romeo, Renault, and I believe that was a Mercedes as well, but Braun Paul got himself up into 9th, as I believe that was a bit of contact between Jordan JT, and I gotta check as oh, Wreck's gone. Rick and Wreck. Rick with huge front wing damage now, as we got the championship protagonists having a bit of a scrap for second place, Connor and Bullet Boy. But Rick and Wreck making contact with each other. Oh, as we just see Nolan there getting up close and personal with the Wall of Champions. As Connor now has made his way past Bullet Boy, he is up into second place, and crucially for him now, he is ahead now in the championship, and he's ahead in this race. Actually, Nolan with a beautiful little switchback there. JD Nolan gets back ahead of Connor with a lovely little switchback, and now Connor has to do the work all over again, try and get past this man. And he's got his championship rival in Bullet Boy right behind him, bearing down his neck, as Braun Paul down the inside of not one but 2 cars. So Braun Paul is 3 wide. Oh, lads, yeah, someone yield. Thank you. As Bjorwood goes very defensive on Braun Paul. You might say that he completely forced Braun Paul to back out of that move, but Connor is going to have it down the inside. Yes, he is. Down the inside he'll go. Nolan's still there, and he's able to hold onto his car. Nice little drift there from Nolan, who really is really performing very well, as Bullet Boy now trying to go around the outside, and there's a big old squeeze there from Nolan. But now with DRS and that Renault being so close, so you think when he gets to the back straight it's going to be job done, but it might be job done in this chicane. No, Bullet Boy going to think better of it. These guys very close on track. 1 penalty can make all of the difference in the world. As Bullet Boy, he needs to get past Nolan here. He needs to do it, because if he doesn't, Connor is going to get away from him. And here he goes, DRS wide open, he's going to look down the inside into the final chicane. Gets the move done. Does he keep it out the World of Champions? Yes, he does. As Slayer picks up a 2-second time penalty, and now he's under pressure from the cars behind. We're going to go on board as Bjorwood tries to have a look down the inside, as we got Luke going around the outside of turn 1, trying to make it work as he gets the traction down side by side with Slayer, as he is going to get that move. And into 4th will go Luke, as Bjorwood now under pressure from United Bosnia, who's going to look around the outside. A big old late move there from Bosnia, trying to hang it around. Very clean stuff between these two. And both now with DRS wide open. Jordan not too far behind. Brought on pole down in 9th place, so he's had a bit of an off somewhere. Contact there between the Ferrari and the McLaren. And now we got to wait to see what Brought on pole is going to do as he closes up. As he does get past Jordan JT, but outbreaks himself, and now Jordan able to get ahead, but momentarily as Brought on pole gets a switchback line and moves ahead of the man in the McLaren. And up ahead we got Luke getting past Nolan there, but they both pick up a time penalty. As we move into the final lap, the race is on between these two, Connor and Bullet Boy. Who is going to come out on top here? Is it going to be Connor? Is it going to be Bullet Boy? As we got penalties coming in left, right and centre. We got close battling up and down the grid. And this is a very enjoyable race, a lot less carnage than the previous races. As Bullet Boy, is he going to be close enough to really take advantage of this DRS now? He's got one opportunity, one chance, and I think he's too far behind. He is going to be too far behind, but what about anyone else? United Bosnia very close to the Ferrari of Bjorwood. Is he going to make the move? He's going to move to the outside for the final chicane. Surely not. Oh, and he lets Bjorwood go, as Jordan JT will finish ahead of Brought on pole on track, but Brought on pole jumps up into 7th, and Nova Wes up into 8th, and that has changed the top 10. Jordan dropping a few positions there, so Connor is going to take the win and the championship lead from Bullet Boy. They were tied on points, and that was a very close and exciting race, and that is what we like to see. Oh, as Rek explains what happened to him. Apparently he left the overtake button on and lost the rear trying to get some traction. That is unfortunate. And now I gotta get gaming in. So there we go. There is your podium. Connor on the top step ahead of Bullet Boy, and that is the way it is in the championship right now. So we're gonna have a look at the championship standings. So there it is. Connor ahead of Bullet Boy, Rek, Luke, Brian Paul, Rick Dalton, Jordan, United Bosnia, Slayer, Nova, Bjorwood, JD Nolan, Crazy Welsh, and then Zach with no championship points. But that is how the Canadian race is gonna finish, and 26 points there for Connor, and he is gonna be 11 life right now. I appreciate that gaming, Rick. I appreciate it. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. That's a double 69. Nice. Okay, let's get ST5 in because he did want in on this race. So oh, they've readied up. Unfortunately, they've readied up ST5, but you have got an invite. You have got an invite, so you can join in. Unfortunately, everyone has readied up. And we move one subscriber closer to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, as well as it is going to be a very, very damp looking Belgian Grand Prix, and this is going to be a bit tasty. Now, I know Bullet Boy, he loves this track. He actually set a top 40 time on TT earlier that he was bragging about. But that was in the dry. Let's see how he does in the wet, as the session is getting ready to start in 20 seconds. They're probably not happy to see the wet weather again, but oof, it's going to make some. It's going to make turn one very poignant. As we go to those 5 red lights. Lights are out and Bjornwood gets a decent launch ahead of the guys behind, and it is the intermediate tyres on everyone. As you can see, Wreck really struggling on traction there. And Bro on pole and Slayer taking it nice and easy. As Nolan getting it all out of shape there at the top of Rouge and Radion, and loses a fair few positions as Wreck really closing in now. Bro pull down the inside. Is he going to go for the double overtake? No, he's going to have to back up. A little bit of contact there with Crazy Welsh, but he is able to get the switchback line on Wreck. We're on board with Slayer now for a nice little view of this, as it's 2x2 up ahead. Nolan and Crazy Welsh having a bit of a battle there. As Bullet Boy, I believe, has just got past Rick Dalton, as Connor down the inside of Luke into Puyon. There's a bit of a lag going on there as Bullet Boy around the outside on the exit, and who's that off? It's United Bosnia. Has he got a front wing? Does he still have a front wing? He is ghosting. He is going slow enough so people can ghost through him. And that's the reason why I did put ghosting on, so that if someone does have an off and they are driving slow enough, they will ghost, so it causes less carnage when they come back on track. But back up towards the front, Bullet Boy getting the move done on Connor, and Connor there with a little bit of a snap, as did Lucas Jordan. Oh my, was that Rick? Has gone. Rick lost it in Blanchimont from the looks of things, and he's on pause, but he is going to continue. However, he does have heavy wing damage. He's going to try and get that car turned into the pits. And Crazy Welsh squeezing out Jordan there. Jordan out on the curb, losing all form of traction, and he is going to drop all the way down from 6th into 9th. Oh my god, Wreck and Crazy Welsh. And I believe that was pure lag, because everything else looked fine for everyone else, but Wreck completely destroyed. Meanwhile, up ahead, as Bjornwood is backwards. He is backwards and off, and who is he collided with? I believe he may have collided with Luke, because Luke is waiting for him. So I'm guessing Luke and Bjornwood has collided, as we just saw the absolute disintegration of Wreck, and as long as everyone finishes, everyone gets points. So everyone who finishes will get points here. And right now, Bullet Boy is the man leading ahead of his championship rival Connor. Jack in third ahead of Crazy Welsh, ahead of Bro on pole. Jordan in sixth ahead of his McLaren teammate at the moment for United Bosnia. Slayer in eighth, Rick Dalton in ninth, and JD Nolan is going to round out that top 10. Wreck, honestly, it looked complete lag. Oh, as JD Nolan losing it, he clips the curb in Puyon and loses it into the wall. Wreck, it did look complete lag because everyone else was able to carry on as if nothing happened. As Jordan into the pits, he does have a big old gap to the Mercedes of Rick Dalton. As Bro and Paul and Crazy Welsh, as Bro and Paul has retired from the session, and it is survive Belgium right now, as we're gonna have a tasty little battle between Rick Dalton and Jordan JT for what will be 7th place as they go past the stricken car of Bro on pull, as Wreck says he has to log off. Well, thank you for joining us today, Wreck, and hopefully you will appear in a few more community events in the future. As Crazy Welsh has also retired. I think he's retired out of courtesy for Bro on pole there. As Nolan in the chat saying this was his first wet race on the game. Well, mate, you're still going. You're still going, mate. You can do this. 2 more laps to go. But down to 8 drivers left in this race. It really is survive Belgium. As Rick actually has to get out of the power there in Blanchimont. As they come into the bus stop, really closing up under braking. So Jordan doesn't appear to be as confident as Rick on the brakes, but is that going to play into the Mercedes hands here? As he is now all over the back of Jordan JT. Is this going to be the move? Not side by side, not through Eau Rouge, and thank God they thought better of it. And Bullet Boy picks up a 2-second time penalty. That is absolutely costly in my eye, because Bullet Boy, he's dropped behind corner. So Bullet Boy has made a mistake, picked himself up a 2-second time penalty, and has lost the lead to his rival in this 5-lapper championship, and that is Connor. And who has the fastest lap? I believe, and Connor does. So Connor is going to gain another 8 points on Bullet Boy. Unbelievable. As this is the closest battle we have on track right now, Rick and Jordan. So we're going to stay on board with this one, and we'll keep an eye on that gap between Slayer and United Bosnia, because that is coming down by a rate of knots. now on the run down to Blanchimont. Let's see, is Jordan going to close up drastically through this corner? No, actually, Rick does manage to get away from him just a little bit there, as we are on the final lap of this race. Jordan with a absolute wheelspinmeup.com on the exit of the bus stop chicane, and that has lost him quite a lot of momentum. Meanwhile, this battle is brewing. I can see it going down to the bus stop. Slayer, United Bosnia, McLaren, Alpha Tauri. Both of these guys using no line. I believe the only assist difference between them is Bosnia on ABS, Slayer completely no assists. As Slayer gets a bit of a slide on there through Puyon, but he is closing in on United Bosnia. But very cautious through these corners, they both are. But it looks like Bosnia just about getting ahead, and looks like he may keep a hold of it, as Colin now through the final corner is gonna pick up the win here on track, and I believe he'll still keep the win, as Bullet Boy, there's nothing he can do, as Jack will cross the line in third. United Bosnia pending penalties, is he gonna be able to stay ahead of Slayer? He does have that 2-second gap now, as Slayer really getting out of shape there, and Jordan has dropped off the back of Rick. So 8 finishers here at Belgium, and this has been a race of attrition. So Rick will cross the line in 6th place, and Jordan will cross the line in 7th ahead of Jordan. I think, yeah, he does have wing damage. I was thinking then, why is he dropping so much time? He does have wing damage, and now we have to wait for Nolan to come around. So the first race that we've had here, where it has been intermediate conditions, Austria. It was raining, but we did have the soft tyres on. As we are waiting for Nolan to cross the line. As he, oh, don't DNF you. Don't DNF you. Oh, he's DNF'd. So Connor will extend the gap even further, and Bullet Boy will get the driver of the day. However, he is going to feel that he kind of bottled this one. As Jack says, he crossed the line on his screen, so hopefully he did cross the line for us. But let's have a look. So Connor picks up the win ahead of Bullet Boy. Jack in third, Bosnia 4th, Slayer 5th, Rick Dalton in 6th, Jordan in 7th, and JD Nolan in 8th. Our non-finishers were Crazy Welsh, Braun Paul, Bjorn Wood, Luke and Rex. And now we're going to go into the championship standings and have a look at things and how they have changed. 16 points is the gap, and oh my god, guys, is 3 drivers on 69 points. The ante has been upped. 3 drivers on 69 points. 4 points behind that is Brought on Pole. So we have a very tasty scrap for 3rd in this championship, as Jordan in 7th, tied on points with United Bosnia. So that's going to be a tasty one. 5 points back from them is Slayer. And Nolan now into the top 10, ahead of Jack Bjorwood and Crazy Welsh. Let's have a look at the constructors and see what's happening. Renault quite some way ahead of Racing Point, but very close from Alpha down, so we'll see what happens there. So with 14 drivers left, and we have been joined by Adri and ST5 now. So we've got another 2 drivers to add to the list, and ST5, very capable driver. I have raced him in a few leagues, and Adri as well. Raced him in LOE, the Season 2 LOE Division 3 champion, the Spaniard. So let's see how he is going to fare against the likes of these guys. He was very good at Belgium in the past, so he's going to be upset that he did miss that race, but I know he can pull something out of the bag here for Silverstone. So we're going to see what he can do here, as we still have a few people watching. Hello, how are you doing? Let me know in the chat, whose team are you on, Connors or Bullet Boys? Let me know. As it is overcast, but it is dry. Don't hype me up either. I'm using no TC now. Hey, look, right, you will be thanking that option later down when you get more used to everything. You will be thanking that option because you'll gain a lot of time with that. So we're going to go to 5 red lights. SD5 will start on pole position. So his first race, and he is on pole, and he gets a very, very decent start there. As Bullet Boy going down the inside into turn 1. And I believe he has cut the corner slightly there. Meanwhile, some movements going on in the midfield. A big old dive from the Haas, I believe that was. As he is trying to make his way through. Crazy Welsh trying to hold his ground. As Jordan and Luke side by side. Connor trying to get his way through the field. ST5 now dropping positions, and I believe he is just trying to drive around at the moment to see what he can do, where his pace is. Meanwhile, at the back, Slayer and Rick Dalton have collided, and both are off there as they go into Brooklands and Luffield. ST5 picks up his first penalty of this race, and United Bosnia all over the back of Nolan, and Connor all over the back of them. Now what's Connor going to do? He's going to make it 3 wide into Stowe, and contact with United Bosnia, who loses the back end, but he's still going in the right direction. Thank God. And it looks like Adri has had a bit of contact, and he's gone off somewhere as well. So Adri all the way down towards the back as Luke goes past on ST5, and so does Jordan. So ST5 I think he's just trying to see what he can do pace rise without traction control, as we got Crazy Welsh and Nolan having a bit of a battle. Oh, a bit of a switchback there from Crazy Welsh. Try and get the move done as he picks up a 2-second time penalty side by side. And United Bosnia, he's looking at this. He's thinking, I want a piece of this action. And now, all over the back into Brooklands as they look for the best exit out of left field. Trying to get a good run onto the old pitch straight, the old turn 1. Cops corner. Who is going to have the biggest balls to send it down the inside? Crazy Welsh is. He's going to try and hold it through. And he does it. So Crazy Welsh now up into 4th. And United Bosnia, a great run on Nolan as they go side by side into Magus and Beckett. And a bit of contact there. Bosnia does back out, and Bjornwood, he is all over the back, sniffing an opportunity there, as is Luke. Meanwhile, Connor has managed to get himself up into 2nd place with the fastest middle sector. Brought on Paul in 3rd place. And I have caught my second wind when it comes to commentating, guys. As Bosnia down the inside, he'll go a little bit of contact there between Nolan and Bjornwood. And that might put Bjornwood under pressure from Luke. But Luke is not going to be interested, as Nolan tries it down the inside of Bosnia, but that compromises him. And Bjornwood gets through up into 6th place now for the man in the Haas. And Nolan covers off Luke, but Luke's going to send it around the outside of turn 1. Luke absolutely sweeping past there as Jordan JT down the inside of Nolan. It's all kicked off for 5th place here as Nolan just kind of letting Jordan go. Meanwhile, Bosnia and Bjornwood, a little bit of contact made there, and Bjornwood's going to let Bosnia back through for it. So good to see as Luke very late on the brakes there, tried to carry the speed around the outside as they look for the best exit out of left field, but Luke making a little bit of contact there and gets out of shape, and I think that slows up Jordan JT. JD Nolan manages to squeeze through as they run now in to the old turn 1 Cops corner as they go towards Magus and Beckett side by side. Bjornwood and Bosnia, but Bosnia is going to pull ahead and keep that position as now ST5 losing his car as Luke gets past Bjornwood. He's going to send it down the inside into Stowe. He is going to send it. Is he going to be able to pull the move off? No. United Bosnia sweeps around the outside and gets that position under control as Bjornwood tries it down the inside of Luke and unable to get the move done, but Luke under some serious pressure now as United Bosnia picks himself up a 2-second time penalty. And now this has just shaped things up very tastily indeed as Jordan is going to try to close back up to Nolan, who is keeping up with these guys fairly well as Bosnia makes a mistake, and now Luke is going to be able to get past, and Luke is the one who has DRS, not United Bosnia. And Bosnia unable to close up enough to try and get back through. As now things are starting to settle down a little bit. I can catch my breath. Crazy Welsh picked himself up a 2-second time penalty. Bjornwood going well and truly off track there at Cops corner as they go through Maggots and then into Beckett's. Jordan picking himself up a 2-second time penalty as well, and it's not going to help his cause to try and close back up. But Luke, he has eyes right now on the man in the Racing Point up ahead. And speaking of the Racing Point, it is Racing Point versus Renault in the constructors right now, so this is quite apropos with the checkerboard of 1st down to 4th. But the question is, who is going to finish on the top step of the podium? These three very close to each other as they come through the first few corners. So it looks like Connor, he is close enough for DRS. What about Braun Paul? Yes, Braun Paul is also close enough for DRS, and it looks like ST5 and Adri may have made a bit of contact there because there was yellow flags in the final corner. And Connor now all over the back of Bullet Boy. This is for the lead as they are going to hang it through Cop's corner. Is Connor going to get a good run on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's as he comes through, hooking up these corners as best he can on the power as early as he can. DRS wide open, a purple middle sector for the man in the racing point as he is closing in, but not enough to make a move into Stowe, but he does drift just a little bit wide. Braun Paul being left slightly, just a little bit too far back. Meanwhile, Luke has closed that gap to Crazy Welsh, and he has dragged along United Bosnia for the ride, but Bullet Boy will pick up the win. Connor in second, brought on pole in third. Crazy Welsh, is he going to be able to keep fourth? I'm not sure, but no, Luke is going to jump in for fourth. Bosnia in fifth, Bjorn Wood in seventh, Jordan in eighth, JD Nolan ninth. Rick Dalton will pick up the final point, and Adri and ST5. I'm not sure what happened with Adri. ST5, I think he was just dropping positions just to kind of see what he can do pace wise, but Adri I think was caught up in an early incident. But that was fast-paced action from start to finish. And on the top step of the podium is going to be Bullet Boy. We got ST5 in the chat saying, no TC on one of my worst tracks. I want to ask, what happened with you and Adri? Yeah, let me know what happened with you and Adri. So, Bullet Boy takes the win ahead of Connor, Braun Paul third, Luke, Crazy Welsh, United Bosnia, Bjorn Wood, Jordan, Nolan and Rick Dalton round out the top 10 ahead of Jack, Adri, Slayer and ST5 all outside the points. And now we look at the standings. It is down to 10 points between the top two. Luke gets ahead of Brought on pole for third place in the championship. Rick Dalton in fifth. United Bosnia, Jordan having a nice little battle for sixth, as we have Slayer and Crazy Welsh, Bjorn Wood, JD Nolan and Jack looking very very tasty for that final battle in ninth place. Constructors wise, it is Renault's. Braun Paul and Bullet Boy have done it in terms of the constructors. And now guys, we are on to the final race in this 5-lapper championship, and it is going to be an absolute cracker. Brazil has thrown up some fantastic championship deciders in the past, and 10 points separating Connor and Bullet Boy. It is still possible for Bullet Boy, but we'll see what happens, as we got 1 point separating the battle for third as well, and we got battles for a few key positions. Bosnia and Jordan having a bit of a battle also, and of course we got Nolan and Crazy Welsh, and I believe Jack as well. Who is going to finish third? Who is going to finish first? Get your predictions in now, guys, as it's going to be a dry session. Who is going to take the inaugural 5-lapper championship hosted by myself, Shwmae Mike, as a community event? Who is going to be taking the inaugural 5-lapper championship? as we wait for everyone to ready up to go in to the final race of the championship. ST5 on pole, Crazy Welsh alongside him, but Bullet Boy starts ahead of Connor. Connor all the way down in last place. This is golden for Bullet Boy, who gets very close here to Audrey into turn 1, but he is going to hang it around the outside. Oh, very close between Audrey and Bullet Boy there, but they both make it through. The Senna S is unscathed, as we got a bit of movement going on behind. Audrey trying to defend, but is getting swamped, but the car's behind and he spun. I think a little bit of contact between him and United Bosnia, but Audrey really struggling right now in these cars. And oh my god, bro on pole, I think just absolutely I think bro on pole has played teammates advocate right there, because I think he's just broken to break off the front wing. Oh no, bro on pole. Last race there was no need for it, there really wasn't, and he is upside down and Zach has left, and I don't particularly blame him. He just got completely destroyed, and that may be something that stops Bro on pole from getting another invite to this community events that I hold. But as it stands, Bullet Boy, I'm not sure if any contact was made, we couldn't quite see it, but Luke is around. And right now the championship is still in favour of Connor. But if Bullet Boy gets ahead of Crazy Welsh, Connor needs to finish 3rd place to seal it. And right now he's in 5th. But he does have 2 points in hand on Bullet Boy as it stands. Can Crazy Welsh hold off? Can he help his teammate win this championship? Is he going to be the hero? Time will tell, as Crazy Welsh sets the fastest lap because it is the first lap. Meanwhile, the AlphaTauri side by side, Luke and Slayer, and Luke is going to get ahead of Slayer there for P8. Meanwhile, up ahead is United Bosnia, is Bullet Boy close enough to make a move, as United Bosnia wasn't quite close enough to make a move on Rick Dalton. Meanwhile, Connor 2 seconds off the back of Bosnia. 2.5. That front wing damage absolutely causing havoc for the Racing Point. And this is... it's unbelievable what we have seen so far. Truly is unbelievable. I mean, the fact that Bro on pole completely just... it looked like a deliberate brake check on Connor, followed by the definitely deliberate swipe at Zach. And Bullet Boy now, he is going to make the move. Oh no! And Crazy Welsh! Oh no, guys, and the championship is Connor's. Crazy Welsh really I don't know what to say. I mean, I know these two, they're both in Fair League racing. They're going to be having a big old discussion about this come after this race, a big old discussion. But, I mean, fair's fair in my eye. I mean, Bro and Paul destroyed Connor, so Crazy Welsh destroyed Bullet Boy. As Luke gets past Nolan for 5th place, and that is a very anticlimactic end to this championship. But You can't say Crazy Welsh and Bro and Paul weren't being good teammates. But because of their actions, we'll never know what could have been. And Luke now trying to have a look down the inside of Nolan. Going to get the move done. Oh, they're going to be side by side, but Nolan's not going to have the grip to keep it around the outside. Meanwhile, Slayer trying to do his best to try and keep up with Adriocdoc, as we have Jordan keeping it inside the top 10, and he is going to be able to finish there as long as he doesn't DNF or get himself disqualified. As back up towards the front, United Bosnia versus Rick, and Bosnia will pick up the fastest lap, but Rick will finish first. Connor will finish third and get the championship in a drag race to the line between Luke and ST5 that ends in Luke picking up the win, as Adri actually jumps ahead of Nolan. So does Slayer, and look at the gap between Slayer and Adri, 11 thousandths of a second, as Bjornwood will cross the line to come 9th, and Jordan JT will be the final man to cross the line and pick up the final point in this community event. And Rick will pick up the driver of the day. So, with the final race in the bag, Rick picks up the win here, but it is going to be Connor who wins the inaugural 5-lapper championship community event hosted by BAHRAIN Mike. And I hope everyone who tuned in to watch it enjoyed it, and everyone who participated in it, even though you may have left raged out or so on, I hope you did actually enjoy some part of it. But yeah, I mean, there it is, the man on the top step, CPI _ Connor ahead of Bullet Boy. Rick will get third, 2 points ahead of Luke, so that mattered. Bosnia will not, well, he will finish 6th, but he won't be close enough to Bro and Paul, as Jordan will just about keep in 7th ahead of Slayer. Nolan will get ahead of Crazy Welsh, and Bjornwood tied on points. So that is the championship there. Connor, Bullet Boy, Rick, Luke, Bro and Paul, United Bosnia, Jordan, Slayer, Nolan, Crazy Welsh, Bjornwood, Jacques, ST5 and Adriocdoc rounds it out, and that is going to conclude the final race of the 5-lapper championship community event hosted by myself, BAHRAIN Mike. This will not be the only event that I will be hosting throughout the entirety of this game. I will be hosting various different ones, so you may see some classic cars, you may see some F2 cars in the future, so I hope you guys will be excited for that. And we are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, and that is a goal for mine by the end of the year, and it looks like we are very close to actually doing it. So to everyone who joined in the session, everyone who has watched the stream, and to the 2 guys who hit the subscribe button, because I know it was 2, because it was 95 at the start of the stream, to everyone who was some form a part of this, I want to thank you, and hopefully the next one will be bigger, better, and probably less contact than the next one. That's what I'm hoping for, less chaos. But until next time, guys, I've been BAHRAIN Mike, and I'll catch you in the next stream.